It was my first day in South Africa, and I was talking to Ernst Roets and a succession of experts on farm murder statistics.
So in the last year, there were about roughly 84 farm murders.
And that's so 84 farm murders in a 1 year period where either the farmer or a family member has been murdered.
Yes, yes. And then you can do the calculation, or at least a close estimate of a calculation. Last year, the estimate was 156 per 100,000 per year. And police officers in South Africa is 55 per 100,000.
Is being a farmer one of the most dangerous jobs?
Yes, it is clear. And we are just talking about farmers murdered, not including those who survived the attacks and the brutal tortures that some of them have experienced. We are only looking at farmers murdered. And we've seen how this have increased from 2011 until 2017. I mean, I think it was 48 in 2011. So we are moving very, very close to doubling the figure.
All these incidents are violent crimes. So we look at murder, attempted murder, rape, robbery, and arson. That's what these are. There's no stock theft involved. There's no theft of normal property. This is only violent crime.
At AfriForum, they're asking the same questions. How can the police file these murders as theft or aggravated theft when so often nothing is stolen?
One of the problems is what they tried to do was to reduce the motive for every incident to a single motive.
My name is Eileen de Jager. I'm one of the Blood Sisters, known in South Africa. We are a nationwide leader in crime scene cleanup.
Have you seen an increase in these kind of attacks in recent years?
Absolutely. 18 years ago when we started this business, there was attacks. According to our knowledge and what we experienced, they started weekly. We would get one call a week to come and assist at either farm attack or farm murder. Now it's daily. It's definitely daily. It's increased unbelievably.
Between 2012 and 2016, the attacks on smallholding farms or properties deemed as a farm or an area non-residential has increased by an average of 72.9%. The figures that I've just given you is according to our statistics. Government statistics will differ.
I don't suppose you can tell us much about why that is.
We don't...
I don't work closely with them because we don't do every scene. But their figures are funnily enough lower than ours. I don't have a particular reason for that. I don't wish to divulge on that.
Farm murders are one of the most gruesome kind of crime scenes that we have to deal with, especially, in South Africa. Farm murders are intentional. It's not robberies. It's intention. The intention of the attackers is, according to us and what we've seen, is to kill. It's been classified, especially on the crime stats as well, that it's attacks or robberies, burglaries. But because there is no statistic for farm murders currently in South Africa, the brutality of the farm murders in South Africa is undescribable. We found pieces of nails being pulled out. We found hands being removed from bodies. We found people raped, murdered, brutally murdered, babies, children, the farmers trying to protect their families, and there's just no stopping. The farm murders are brutal. Another one that stays with me is in Johannesburg, just outside Johannesburg. We had a farm murder where 5 people came in. It was arranged by their domestic worker, and they drowned the 12-year-old boy in boiling hot water. So we had to remove the skin from the bath as it was peeling off him in the hot water. That was a terrible scene. If you look at the worst movies ever made, it's not really a patch against what is really going on there. It's unbelievable.
Our economy is imploding. The value of our currency has deteriorated dramatically, almost unbelievably. We've been downgraded to junk status. We have an official unemployment rate of about 38%, just over 38%, but an unofficial, in other words, the non-government sources say that it is certainly 50%. We have about 16.3 million, in fact 16.3 million people on social grants and an income tax base of 3.1 million people. Taken together, these are the reasons we believe there will be a civil war. And I'd like to add a final anecdote. We recently had a protest in South Africa against farm murders. The protest was called Black Monday. And afterwards our Minister of Defence said that if whites stage another such protest, they will bring a civil war upon themselves. They will provoke a genocide.
White squatter camps. So I went to one such site to investigate it for myself. This squatter camp, just outside the nation's capital, is one of many across South Africa and is home to some of the country's most disadvantaged people, many of whom have struggled to find work, basic medical care, or even shelter because of the country's black economic empowerment laws. It is built on the site of an old dumping ground and is home to around 60 people, most of whom are children.
We're okay to film?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
All right, this is Donnie. He's going to be a tour guide.
Hi, Donnie. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, well, the place is about people that haven't got place to stay, that stays on the street. So we help them, and there's some of the people that is coming in that's got drug problems and all that. We help them with it, and especially women that is abused with children, and we help them with that. That is what we are doing here. So, and from the public side outside, we don't get any support. So the men here, we are working. We love to do it because, especially women and children, they don't get any support from the government. They don't get support. And we haven't got power or lights, electricity we haven't got here. That's why we got water, but Kobus is supporting us with the water, so he's paying that damages out of his pocket.
Could you tell us just in simple terms why this is here?
Because there's no help for whites in South Africa, not so all, nothing. So our whites land on the streets, they ran to squatter camps because they know there's food and clothes. That's why I started it.
Who builds these houses? You guys do?
Ourselves.
Yeah.
We do it ourselves. We do it ourselves. There's this one guy staying here. Look at this room. One guy.
So without this place open, where would these kids be?
They will be on the streets. Or they will be in foster, or they will be in somebody else's care.
The government doesn't have a whole lot of programs?
No, nothing.
Well, there are poor people of all races in South Africa. People here are often refused help based solely on their race. Miss Grace, the de facto mother of the camp, told me how one resident was refused treatment at a hospital because of the color of his skin, while children in the camp were refused places at a local school for the same reason.
There's nothing. There's in 2001, It was stipulated from the government, no support to any whites whatsoever. No aid, nothing.
Why couldn't you go to one of the hostels that the government has set up?
Because of the skin color. Yeah, and yeah, it's not, well, we just help white people, yeah. Because there's no other place that does it. You know, if you go to, there's many places I know, Jesus Disciples, Manger, those places they take blacks and they put the whites out. You see, so yeah, that's about it.
So wait, there are places here that will only help blacks but won't help whites?
Yeah, that's true.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, people find that a very bizarre idea.
Yeah, if you, I don't know how to say it, it's just the racism going around.
So I'm just here to get my life in order and try to give my daughter a better life.
Were there any other places you could have gone other than here?
No.
Why not?
Nobody else didn't want to help. I've tried a lot, and at the end of the day, Uncle Kubus was the only one that took me in.
This is the only place who could help us with place to stay and things. They are the only ones who helped us with it. No one else wanted.
If it wasn't for them, I would have been in the streets. I want to sleep with my wife and my kids on the street. That's it.
Today I'm suffering because of people who is like racist with us. And they don't care about our young people because you can't get jobs and I'm with. Because this side of the earth it's bad for us. And I'm not lying, it's bad. No one can get jobs around here, we're suffering badly. Even the youngest kids. I've got a 5-year-old, 2-year-old. I don't know how I'm going to give them a life around here.
Well, where we lived, things were very dangerous. The one day, there was black people walking in the street and they shot through our windows. And I went and the police did nothing.
You can't even walk in the streets around. At night, during the day, they always rape you or they beat you up. They're swearing at you in the language. They know you don't know the language, but they will come and swear at you, breaking you down around you. You don't feel like a person around you anymore. So they're making sure our people, we don't have a life anymore. They will make sure about it.
This is just one of dozens of camps like it in South Africa, a growing testament to the resentment the country's white population now faces.
You are committing a crime. You know why? Because you are taking a white man's land. You are taking the land, and this land belongs to Mlungu. So we must protect the Europeans against the non-Europeans. That's why we are called here. Because no one must disturb the peace of white people. Who are you to disturb the peace of white people? How do you disturb the peace of white people? Because you want to take the land of white people. And the ANC shall punish you for disturbing the peace of white people. Because white people are untouchable. White people, they are from heaven. No one dares touch white people. You touch a white person, you will go to jail. You must ask Mandela. You must ask Bukwe. You must ask Steve Biko. They've not done anything wrong except to disturb the peace of a white man. So black people, you are subjects of white people. Even under ANC, even under the so-called democracy, you are subjects, you are servants of white people. No white man will be served by me. I do not serve white masters. I will never serve white masters. I'm here to disturb a white man's peace. They are right. The white man has been too comfortable for too long. We are here unashamedly to disturb the white man's peace. Because we have never known peace. We don't know what peace looks like. They've been living peacefully. They've been swimming in a pool of privilege. They've been enjoying themselves because they always owned our land. We, the rightful owners, our peace was disturbed by white men's arrival here. They committed a black genocide. They killed our people during land disposition. Today we are told don't disturb them. Even when they disturbed our peace, they found peaceful Africans here. They killed them. They slaughtered them like animals. We are not calling for the slaughtering of white people, at least for now. What we are calling for is for peaceful occupation of the land. And we don't owe anyone apology about that. And we are not going to tell the court that we are not disturbing the peace. We are going to tell the court we are disturbing the peace. That's what revolution is about. Revolution is about making those who are comfortable uncomfortable. That's what the revolution is about. Hey, stupid, if you didn't know what revolution is about, today we gave you a free lecture. Revolution is about disturbing the peace of those who are swimming in a peaceful environment through exploitation of the working class.
Here in Rwanda, more than 800,000 men, women, and children were killed over the course of 3 months. It is the will and not the way that is critical. In Rwanda, the Hutu leaders did what all genocidal leaders do. They tapped into the prejudices and beliefs that people already held. Generations of Hutu had grown up being taught that the Tutsi are dangerous and inhuman. It was easy to mobilize Hutu for the killing.
ikintu cyabaye nyuma inama zarabaye nyine turazitabira tusigemo ku biga by'amashuri nk'uko natubwiye ahantu hahurirwa n'abantu benshi nyine bafata umugambi bati uyu munsi wa none mutangire mujye ku marondo mukumira umwanzi muziba ahantu hose ari amayira muhatake ku buryo nagerageza gutsimbuka ahunga mumufata mukamenya byaje kuba muri izo nama ahantu fata ahantu hagira abantu benshi nyine tubafata bamwe basha guhunga bariruka bagiye no bafatwa n'ahandi kuko hose babaga bashyizeho za bariyeri ubwo nyine gahunda yatangiye kubahirizwa isaha n'umunota abayobozi babivugiye.
What once people had stepped beyond the first step of actually killing, throwing a child down and hacking them to death, opening the womb of pregnant, there's nothing that was left that they couldn't do. Because they were being told by the politicians who are giving them the alcohol that if you don't destroy these people, these animals, they are coming to finish you. None of you will survive. And they had been made to believe it. I don't want to give an excuse for them. They were willing killers, there's no doubt in my mind. But see, at the back of their mind, the radio is telling them they are coming to finish you. If you don't kill them yourselves, their plan is to finish you. Genocide never happens as a surprise. Never. The signs are usually available and apparent.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I'm saying to you, we have not called
for the killing of white people, at least for now. I can't guarantee the future.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd understand somebody watching that, especially as it gets shared on Twitter, they freak out. It sounds like a genocidal call.
Cry babies. Cry babies.
I'm not calling for the slaughter of white people, at least for now.
I can't give you a guarantee of the future, especially when things are going the way they are.
Subtext.
Especially if things are going the way they are, there will be a revolution in this country, I can tell you now. There will be an unled revolution. An unled revolution is the highest form of anarchy.
É curioso ver como o Sr. António Guterres e a ONU e as suas ONGs que protegem as minorias não mencionam nada sobre a África do Sul e o genocídio declarado dos brancos na África do Sul. As políticas racistas do governo da África do Sul, que apenas para contratos do Estado apenas permitem que 8% dos trabalhadores sejam não negros. Ou seja, 8% incluiria brancos, mestiços, índios, asiáticos, etc. Mas isso parece não ser uma preocupação para a Organização das Nações Unidas, que prefere defender os direitos dessas pessoas, os direitos a ser racistas, os direitos ao genocídio, os direitos a crimes de racismo. Portanto, para mim, isto é mais uma prova da hipocrisia que existe nas elites atuais e mais nomeadamente no que diz respeito à ONU, e também os nossos mídias e a maneira como eles não fazem uma cobertura leal de todos os aspectos e de todas as notícias que deveriam fazer. Tudo aquilo que aparece nos mídias é filtrado, é para defender uma determinada narrativa, e parece que nós, nativos europeus de cor branca, estamos entregues aos lobos. De qualquer forma, seria sempre bom referir que nós não dormimos. Nós estamos acordados e nós lutaremos pelos nossos direitos até ao fim.